How do we as musicians know if our performance hit on all of our planned marks? Meaning that it hit on all cylinders and we made the impact that we wanted. Well, I recommend we go out to the lobby and we start listening to the comments and we see the buzz of that particular group of people that came just to see us. Now, if they do leave very quickly, then, maybe we have an issue. But I have a sense that as you watch them and talk with them, they're going to linger and you're going to see them sharing with one another. And there's going to be a sense of community and almost just for that moment, a unity of purpose from what happened as you shared your music from center stage. And I think when that happens, you've hit your mark. Hi, everybody. My name is Jeff Price, and I'd like to welcome you back to Intentional Musicianship. Well, we talk about everything that leads to the center stage, whether that be performance practice, storytelling, showmanship, and all the other finer points that come in between. So let me tell you about a moment that caught my attention recently. I went out to hear our local community band just 2 miles away, the Fairmont State University Community Symphonic Band. And they were joined at the end of the show by the Fairmont State University Choir and also the community choir that's also affiliated with Fairmont State. Now, after the concert, I ran into a friend I work with. His name's Nick Goff. And with more excitement than I've ever heard him, he said, "Jeff, this is the best band ever." Now, that line stuck with me. And I wanted to unpack today why he said that, because I don't think it was just about good intonation or that the players have developed and become stronger players. There was something deeper going on. Now, I've been following this group since their very first concert a couple years ago, and I've watched them grow. Sure, they've grown musically, but I've seen how they've connected with their audience. Now, no doubt each concert has had a buzz. We've had a full house and a sense of shared energy that's come along with it. A lot of anticipation, a lot of people in the community that I look forward to going and seeing and being a part of that particular audience. Plus on stage, I see friends and I see old students performing. But this time, as I looked at the theme of the concert, called the Great American Concert, something struck me. This was an audience-based wind and percussion ensemble. Audience-focused, audience-based. They focus less on what they want to do and focus more on what we as an audience want to hear and experience. Now, at first glance, you might think of that might be a very simple thought. Audience-focused musical ensemble, we might say. But when you hear the start of the show and get engaged with the programming as it unfolded, and when the conductor spoke, and when that group played, it all made sense. Every decision they made, from the repertoire to the pacing to the presentation, clearly honored the promise of what they were going to present as this so-called audience-focused, audience-based ensemble, this community band. And they truly were. The music choices were accessible, emotional, celebratory. Now, I'd said that it was an Americana-themed concert, and it resonated deeply within my local small West Virginia community. Now, I think that's why my friend's comment felt so genuine. He didn't just hear a good band. He experienced a group that fulfilled what they were trying to do. They made a deal with the audience with the kind of music they were going to play and how they were going to present it, and they kept it. Now, this is something we can all learn from as performers, educators, and program planners. If you tell your audience who you are and what you're about, if you can clearly communicate your intent, you've set an expectation. And when you can deliver on this expectation, you create trust. And when you do this, you transform those passive spectators into fans. And always remember that fans is short for fanatic. Now, let me give you a counterexample of a few concerts that I've been to recently where in the middle of the concert, the program suddenly shifted gears, taking a weird left turn into a different kind of message or a theme that wasn't advertised or wasn't prepared well. It just sort of came out of nowhere. Sometimes it was a veiled political statement. Sometimes it was a, deeply held social issue. Maybe it just happened to be a stylistic pivot of the kind of music they were playing. And while those issues might be valid and important, the problem was the surprise factor and the placement in the performance. The audience wasn't invited into that journey at that time. It was just forced down their throat. And you could feel the room change, energy dropping, body language tightening. Some of those audience members, they went along. Others, they were a little shocked, polite, but they just sort of went with it. Now, it's not that we shouldn't tackle meaningful issues or push creative boundaries. Music can do a lot of things. But when we do it, it shouldn't be unexpected. It shouldn't feel like someone sneaked vegetables into our favorite dessert. The intent may be good, but the trust changes. And for that, I recommend you read Aubrey Bergauer's book, Run It Like a Business. She has a whole section on this. She actually says that she encourages different arts organizations to embrace different kind of social issues and different things. But I think the way that she presents it, she states it very well. And I think it fits well with what we're talking about. It's like the audience knows what to expect. One of the things they talk about, they always talk about a business that has a key concept, and it talks about the branding of something like Patagonia and what they stand for. And so I think that if you can become that brand, that image of what people expect, then I think it helps with everything to build and develop that trust with your audience. So what's my takeaway? This trust that was built by this Fairmont State Community Symphonic Band, why it was so effective, it's because it was straightforward, authentic, audience-centered. They told us their goal of the Americana music, and they showed us piece by piece what it meant. Think of it as this musical promise. It's like a brand statement. To borrow a term from Aubrey Bergauer's Run It Like a Business, she talks about clarity and authenticity, and it's the cornerstones of our organizational trust. And this band lived that out perfectly. So as you prepare your next concert or your classroom showcase, try this. State your vision. What should people expect from this performance? Then, design your program to support that promise. And then, finally, deliver it with integrity. When you do, you not only create a great concert, you create a shared experience. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Intentional Musicianship. If today's story made you think about your own performances or programming, I'd love to hear from you. You can always visit us at intentionalmusicianship.com or connect with me on social media to share your thoughts and ideas. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. Again, thanks for listening, and I hope you'll join us on the next episode of Intentional Musicianship.